Hello there, welcome back to the channel. It's Orlando here. How are you doing today? You having a good day? I'm having a good day, thank you. So, yep, got some tickets for Fursuit next year, so I'm very happy. We're going to go do my deer dragon thing at Fursuit. Anyway, today we're going to be doing the first of a few videos talking about some things that people need to know. And today's video's title is 5 things you need to know as a new furry. There's quite a lot to this fandom, there's quite a lot of things go on and you'll never know it all. And yeah, in the few months I've been in the fandom I've got some experience, not as much experience as many of course, but experience is a great teacher, particularly if you can use somebody else's experience to help guide your way. So I've just picked 5 topics here, 5 things I'm going to talk about briefly. Things that you need to know as a new furry. The first thing I'm talking about is social media. And the first topic is choose your social media wisely. Yes, we live in a world where there's tons of social media platforms out there. Yeah, there must be at least 10 common platforms. I personally am on about 4 or 5 of them. YouTube obviously here, Facebook, Discord, Telegram. But the truth is you can't be everywhere. Even if you've got a Fursuit which is an octopus who can use 5 iPads at once, or unless you discovered how to do time travel, I think you're going to have to accept you can't be everywhere on the internet at the same time. So I think you've got to really basically choose your battlefield, choose the places you enjoy hanging out. As I say, the social media platform I've been on longest has actually been Facebook. And I would say that I use Facebook now mostly for my non-furry friends. Yeah, the people who know me for a long time are on Facebook, so personal posts on there are usually non-furry things. If I post furry things, my friends there look a little bit confused and puzzled as to what is going on. They don't seem hostile or offensive, they just don't know about furry, so we'll leave it that way. But probably the places to spend most time are Discord. Some of the Discord servers are very good. But I think of the furry, probably the #1 hangout place really is Telegram. Probably Telegram is one of the lesser known platforms. There's not many people outside the fandom know about Telegram, but it's a very good place to hang out, and you'll find that a lot of your furry groups are represented on Telegram, so that's a good place to go to be noticed. Brings me on to the second point, and the second point I'd like to make is you can't be friends with everybody, and the reason for that is very simple. There are too many people out there. There's too many different platforms, too many people. You might get to meet an awful lot of people, you might get to say hello or hi to a lot of people, but you're only going to make a small number of them into your friends. So if you become friends with everybody you met, I don't know how you'll cope, I really don't. So be a little bit selective, and obviously you will attract the people you deserve really. Treat people like they wish to be treated, and you'll attract the right sort of people. One of the interesting things about the fandom, of course, is that it is such an inclusive area. It's really anybody can join, which means in reality anybody does join. So as well as the nice people, you might find some less nice people, some people you don't get on with, and you might even find a few crooks in there. So yeah, choose your friends wisely, develop relationships with the people that you know well, and yeah, that life will be better with friends. And that brings me on to the third point. Beware of scams. Plenty of things go wrong in this world, plenty of scammers out there unfortunately, including some people within the fandom. You may not know who they are, but they may become obvious. I think furries sadly are seen as a reasonably easy target for scammers. Furries are often quite introverted, emotional creatures. We may be seen as rich, especially if you're wearing a beautiful fursuit like this. Yes, absolutely. Someone will know you must have some money if you can afford to wear a nice suit. And I think furries are also known as being quite impulsive buyers. When you've got to get something, you've got to get something. Those Fursuit tickets tonight, it was basically you were there or you were missing out. So people know that furries will impulse buy. There are quite a lot of scams out there. Some of the better known ones I think are the budget fursuits on the big retailers, places like eBay and Amazon. You'll see pictures of delightful fursuits for not very much money, but the problem with that is they're not the fursuit you're going to get. So what I would recommend to do is, you're looking at that, first of all, don't buy a suit off Amazon or eBay, and secondly, if you really must, then do your due diligence first, do your research, do the Googling. Reverse image lookup is an absolute godsend for finding these sort of things out. If you reverse image search a photo and you find it in 20 other places on the internet, well, you know for a start you're dealing with a scam or something approaching a scam there. The other one, which I've had friends fall victim to, is the hotel rooms at cons scam, where again the scammers sort of say you need to act now, otherwise you're going to miss out on your hotel room. And furries wanting to have that room at the hotel, hand over the money, and yeah, the scam is gone. But there are other ones as well, particularly on social media. Art and fursuit commissions can both go wrong. So as I say, do your background checks, do your due diligence, and watch out for the scammers. Brings on to the fourth thing, which is artwork. As others have said, artwork really is the lifeblood of the fandom. Without the artist, there really would not be a fandom. And the truth of the story is, you desperately need art. You definitely do not want AI art. Pretty much there's nothing you can do in the fandom without having some artwork of your character or persona. As I say, you will need something. You will need to have an image of your character. Obviously then you can start to do things like these. You can get stickers, commission stickers. You need a ref sheet. You need a ref sheet early in the piece, so that way other people know how to draw your character and can draw him the same. And the advice I would give you as a new furry is learn to do it yourself. If you look around, you can shop around, there's plenty of pre-made, pre-fillable bases there. Learn to use art editing software such as GIMP or multiple other sources, or even buy yourself some what's called a adoptable. You will find some people out there selling adoptables, which basically gives you the artwork of a character, and you can use it as your own if you wish. But I would basically say, yeah, learn to do your own basic artwork, and that way you can commission somebody who does better artwork than you to do the more advanced things. You do a basic ref sheet, and then someone can do a nice smart ref sheet for you that looks really good, and then someone can make the fursuit of your dreams. Absolutely. As for AI art looks initially very, very tempting. It's easy enough to do. You basically type a few sentences into an AI machine, and out pops a picture of an anthropomorphic, whatever you like, wolf, deer, dragon, fox, whatever you want. You can generate all sorts of art very easily and very quickly, but it isn't original, really. You won't find it by reverse image searching it, but it's not really original because it's based on somebody else's art. And I suppose technically you could say it is art theft. You've used someone else's ideas which have been gathered by an AI machine. A lot of groups, a lot of Telegram groups, just have a blanket ban on AI. So as I say, when you're first starting in the fandom, it's tempting to use AI art. Tempting, but the advice I would give you is just don't do it. And the final point, number 5 tonight, is going to be, I think probably the most important, local furs matter. Because the local furs, the people you know, are going to become your best friends. The people you go to the fur meet with every week are the people you're going to get to know best. And they're the people you're going to hang out with at cons, and they're the people you're going to do the activities after hours with, things like going out to the movies or going bowling or whatever else you choose to do together. If you don't know who your local furries are, your local fur groups are, my advice would be have a look around social media, particularly Telegram. You'll find a lot of groups on Telegram, and they're often quite active. And the other place you can also look is some of the related events. If you live somewhere where there's cosplay events, anime, cosplay, Pokemon, whatever going on, you may well find that a furry is hanging around there you can talk to and get to know. And finally, I suppose if you live in one of those parts of the world where there aren't a lot of obvious groups you can find, I guess you're starting to show some leadership. Perhaps put out a few feelers on social media, perhaps see if anybody else would be interested if you want to start a group. You don't need a lot of people, perhaps 6 to 10 people to start a group with initially. Provided they're people who will turn up on a regular basis, you don't need to have big numbers. And then you build from there. You can build from there. So they're really the 5 points I wanted to make this evening. Choose your social media wisely. You can't be friends with everybody. Be mindful of scams. You desperately need art. You definitely don't want AI art. And local furs matter. And these are 5 things I think I've picked up in my first few months in the fandom, and I think these are things which are going to hold me in good stead into the future. And I think if you're a furry who wants to get involved, I think you should, trust your own experiences obviously, but be free to learn from other people's, because they probably know more than you do because they've been around for longer. Anyway, that's all I want to say this evening. I hope you have a good weekend, what's left of it. I shall be doing some more videos of a similar type in the future, and in the meantime you all have a good time. Do something that makes you happy, and I hope you get to go to your con of your dreams very soon and have a great time there hanging out. So okay, until next time, it's Orlando signing off, and I'll see you later guys. Bye.